Hello there. So just to formally introduce myself, my name is Eleni. I am part of the Arguello brand. You can say I kind of handle all the ins and outs of us. And by Arguello brand, I mean me, my husband, and my kids. So actually, it's my husband, me, and then my kids. And we have 4 kids. So this is going to be a kind of like a midway update on my current 75 hard journey. And I figured that it'd be important to do it right now because I've attempted 3 other times and I've kind of failed right on these days. So like day 36, day 37. And it's always been a challenge. It's obviously a challenge. So just to start off, 75 Hard is a mental toughness challenge created by Andy Frisella. It is not a fitness challenge. If you watch some of my other videos, you may notice that I've been trying this since March or actually since January. So I started in January by myself. In March, I started with my son. There are fitness things in there, but it's mentally challenging. It's really a mental challenge. I really started this program because I saw somebody post on Facebook, do you want to change your life? Do this. And I kind of just went like, okay, I knew that this season in my life was coming up. So I was like, you know what? This would be great to do because I'm going to need it. That was literally what hooked me in. Do you want to change your life? There are 5 critical tasks in this challenge, and you have to do them every single day. There's like literally no excuses. If you have an excuse, like you just can't have an excuse, and it's that simple. You have to always make it work. These 5 critical tasks have to be done every single day for 75 days. So if you watch all my other videos, you already know this. But if you're new, this is what it entails, right? So task number 1 is 2 workouts. One of the workouts must be outside. The weather condition does not matter at all. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, thundering. Honestly, he says be careful, use common sense. I don't know how it is in your area. I know that in my area, we had a snowstorm once, and I still went out and I did a walk, 45-minute walk. It was a very slow walk. I fell a few times, but at the end of the day, I still went out and I did it. If it's lightning, hey, I don't know what to tell you. Wait till it's over. You should have done it earlier. Literally, that's kind of like how it is. The second thing is you have to follow a specific meal plan. You have to stick to that meal plan. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to do this or, oh, I'm going to do that. No. Pick a meal plan, stick to it. Boom. You have to clean eat. There is no alcohol, no cheat meals. A lot of people who do diets or whatever they do, they have a cheat meal on the weekends. This is not it. No cheat meals. You have a cheat meal, you have to start over. The next task is reading 10 pages of a non-fiction book. 10 pages, not 8, not 9. 10 pages. No excuses. The next one is drink a gallon of water. Drink a gallon of water every single day. You can't drink half a gallon. If you don't drink your whole entire gallon, boom, you have to start over every day. The next one is pretty simple, but it's like this is probably where a lot of people mess up at. Take a progress picture every single day for 75 days. It seems like that's a dumb thing, right? And I don't know what it is. It's one of his rules. What he says is you really have to pay attention to the little details. Not the little details in your picture, but the little details in your life. When you sit there and you kind of overlook little details, that's where you kind of mess up. I definitely suggest reading his book, and I suggest listening to his podcast maybe once or twice, because that's where he really gets down to the nitty-gritty, to the details, to the things you can do and you can't do. And I'll put it like this. If you start and you mess something up, guess what? You read the book, boom, then you have to start over. That happened to me once. And I read it and it was like, oh God, like I really can continue. But like there's integrity, and that's one thing I'm kind of building is integrity throughout this challenge. And I mean, I like nobody's checking you, nobody's going and saying, "Hey, did you do it today?" This is really like this is really a mental toughness challenge for yourself. Nobody's checking you, nobody's on top of you. Like these are tasks that you have to complete on your own, and nobody can really say anything about it. Like nobody will know whether you do it or not. But I've built so much integrity, like so much integrity, because it's like the other day, actually yesterday, I'm doing a run and I'm hating it and it's hot, and I mean this is Texas, so it's hot and I'm sweating like crazy and I'm outside and my daughter's waiting for me, and I look and I'm like when you're doing one of the outside workouts, you can't have anything covered. So I look and I'm like, crap. Every time I'm going, I'm having something covered. Like I'm going under a covered area for a little bit. So guess what? I had to start that workout over. Nobody would have had any idea if I didn't. Nobody would have had any idea if I would have just been like, whatever. None at all, right? Nobody would have had any idea. But I did, and I'm building my integrity. And this is really about me, not anybody else. Yeah, I'm losing weight, but it's really about the mental challenge that's happening. Like I said, I started one in January, then I started one in February, then I started my third attempt with my son. And he lasted 15 days of it. I, again, lasted about 30 some days, and I think that's when I read his book and I was convicted, and I'm like, hey, I probably should start over, and I was like, so I officially, because I messed up with the meal plan, I officially stopped 75 hard, but I was still doing all the critical tasks, right? But then I decided, okay, I mean, I got to this point, I can get through it. It was hard, right? Every time I've had to start over, it was hard because it's 75 days, 2 months and a half. And it's like, I don't want to keep doing this over and over and over and over. But, like my son, when I did it with him, we did see some progress. There was some progress between in those 15 days. There has been progress since January when I first started. There has been progress since February when I first started. But it's been hard. I want to share 3 things that have allowed me to get this far without going crazy. And I think this is where kind of the shift started to happen. So I got a meal plan, right? I had a coach who created a meal plan for me specific for my goals. Again, this is not a fitness challenge, but I struggle a lot with food. So she created a meal plan, and it has saved me because I don't have to think about what I have to eat. I don't have to think about, okay, is this what my body needs? Does my body need this? I don't really have to think about it. Basically, she said, hey, this is what you have to eat. This is how much you have to eat. Boom, there you go. I keep saying this, it's not a fitness challenge, but I've taken the opportunity to reach my fitness goals, right? Because I'm still working out twice a day, and I have to eat right, and I'm drinking all this water. So I'm kind of just using this challenge to reach my goals. This other thing that has kind of saved me is eating the same thing every day. And there was a point where it got so boring. I was eating chicken and rice every day, and I was like, oh my God, I hate this. But what I noticed the other times was when I wasn't eating the same, like when I wasn't being consistent, there were so many opportunities for me to deviate from my plan. So if I wasn't being consistent and we went outside, it was kind of like, okay, I mean, I can eat a salad here, I can eat a Chick-fil-A salad, but that really wasn't part of my plan, or was that really part of what I needed to do to get to where I needed to be? The other part that really saved me so far is having a coach. Oh my God. There have been really, really, really extremely difficult times. There have been times where I have been so frustrated. I mean, I've literally cried. I've wanted to give up. I've been so mad. My body wasn't physically changing. I was kind of just like going through the motions and not getting the best out of it. I was looking for the end. And, having a coach, she did 75 hard. She completed it in the first attempt. And that was helpful because she kind of knew what it was. Like 75 days of doing this every single day is a lot. If I would have had somebody who didn't know how to do this, it probably would have been a big deal for me, but for them, it would have been like, hey, just have a cheat meal. What's the big deal? And I can't afford that. I can't afford that if I want to complete 75 hard. When I wanted to quit, she really pushed me. She really did. So those are the three things that have been super helpful. Having a meal plan, eating the same thing every day. And when I mean the same thing, I mean like for lunch, I have chicken. For dinner, I have tilapia. I'm not having salmon and tilapia one day and then chicken and salmon the next. No, I'm keeping it as simple as possible. The three things that have made this extremely difficult is the fact that I'm the only one doing this in my house. So I'm the only one reading 10 pages a day. I'm the only one eating right. I'm the only one exercising 2 times a day. So when you have 4 kids and an entire husband, it's hard, Luckily, we're not necessarily excessive eaters. We kind of, my family kind of follows my lead, and it's like, hey, babe, we want to eat out today, and I'm kind of like, we shouldn't. I'll just cook, that kind of like that gives me a little bit of leeway. But honestly, like, it's just hard, and I have to cook 2 meals sometimes because I have to cook their meals and then my meals. Not sometimes, every time. Breakfast, same thing. Like, even when I make everybody else eggs, I have to make my eggs separate because I only eat egg whites. Like today, I made everybody's meal. I cleaned up, and then boom, it was time to make my food. All right, one thing that made this really hard was a time when I was sore. So it was like 2 weeks of me being sore, and I just could not walk. I could not pee. I could not move. It was the worst. And I really wanted to give up. I really wanted to give up, but I didn't. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go through this. I'll be honest, I didn't go as hard on some of my workouts that time because I really I'm sure I could have, but I was like exhausted. I was still working full time, coming home, kids, husband, and like it was just so much, And the other thing that's really making this difficult is knowing that this is gonna take a long time. Like 2 months and a half of doing this every day is a long time. 2 months and a half of doing this every day is kind of like. Ugh. So that makes it difficult. I'm trying to focus on the day-to-day, but obviously, that's kind of hard. Let's be real. So, yeah. It's going to take a long time to get the body I want. I've actually never had the body I want. So I know there's people who actually got that body and then they lost it, whatever happened, but I've never had the body that I want. And, knowing that it's going to take so long for me to get that body is a big deal. But I'm taking it day by day. So yes, I've seen some progress. Some days I feel great. Some days I'm like, I really want to give up because this is a lot. Because I don't see my body the way I want. But those are the days I really push through. Sometimes pushing through means that I go a little bit harder. I'm like, I can do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Some days, honestly, and I'll be honest, pushing through means I do 2 walking workouts or 1 running and 1 walking workout. Because, I have those days where I'm just checking off that box, It's not like I'm dragging my feet. I'm going a little hard, but I'm not going the hardest. And honestly, I don't know if that's okay. Maybe I'm not mentally challenging myself, but it's getting me through those really hard days. Mentally, I have definitely been stronger. Like I said earlier, my integrity has improved so much. I am doing so much more than I used to. I am much calmer. I am much calmer. Much more patient. I'm beginning to dream bigger and bigger. I'm noticing that there's nothing that can stop me now. Like, I'll go into this in another video, but we made a really, 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 really extreme life choice recently, and I don't think I would have been prepared to follow through on that life choice if it wasn't for 75 hard. And honestly, I mean, I only recommend this challenge if you really want to improve your life. I mean, really, there's no other way around it. Physically, mentally, there's no other way. That is my midway recap. I will come back after day 40 something to recap again to say I made it past that, those days that I always struggle with. So I will come back for that. Hey, this is hard. If you have any comments, if you've done this before, anything like that, please comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at the Mrs. Arguello. Subscribe to this channel and like this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.